Welcome to the Vibe Coders Vocabulary Part 4, the Builder to Founder. And in the last three parts, you learned how to build AI applications, collaborate with developers, and deploy software. But here is an important question. Is building an app enough to create successful startup? That's the question. And the answer is no. A great founder doesn't just build software. A founder creates an experience, solves real customer problems, grows users, and builds a sustainable business. Think about companies like Airbnb, Uber, Canva, or ChatGPT, right? I mean, OpenAI. So their success isn't just because of great code, it's because they combined great design, engineering discipline, and smart business decisions. That's exactly what part 4 is all about. So, in this particular session, you will learn concepts like designing products users love, building software like professional engineering teams, scaling your application to millions of users, growing a product into a successful business. We'll keep everything simple as always, right? And by the end of this entire session, you will start thinking not just like a developer, but like a product builder and founder. So let's get started. Yes. So in parts 1, 2, and 3, we learned how to build, deploy, and manage AI applications. But in this particular session, right, we are answering a much bigger question. Why do some apps become billion-dollar companies while others disappear? The answer isn't just a better code, it's better products. Okay, think about WhatsApp. The technology isn't incredibly complicated, but it's simple, fast, reliable, and easy to use. That's why billions of people use it. And more importantly, it actually solves the real problem, right? Now think of your own AI application. Even if it works perfectly, people won't use it because sometimes it's confusing, it's slow, it doesn't solve the actual problem, okay, the real problem, or it doesn't create value. That's why founders focus on much more than coding. They ask questions like, do users enjoy using it? Will they, come back tomorrow? Can it handle 10 users or maybe 10 million? Can this become a profitable, business? So throughout this session, you will learn the vocabulary behind, great product design, engineering excellence, and startup growth. Because in today's AI era, anyone can actually build an app. The real challenge is building a product that people love, pay for, and recommend to others. So, the first term here is UI UX. I think most of you know. Many people think they're actually the same, but actually it's not, right? Here's the easy way to remember. So UI, which stands for user interface, this is how your app actually looks. And UX is user experience. This is how your app feels to use. Okay? Think about a luxury hotel, the beautiful lobby, the elegant furniture, and the attractive, lighting. That's all UI. But if the receptionist is rude, I mean, so check in, takes 30 minutes and your room is not ready. You have a terrible experience, right? That's called the poor UX. Okay, let's take some practical example. Suppose you're building an AI resume builder. The app has beautiful colors and animations, but users can't find the upload resume button. The app looks, amazing, but it's frustrating to use. That's great UI, but poor UX. Now imagine another app with a simple design. Users upload their resume in 10 seconds, get AI suggestions instantly, and download the improved version with one click. That's excellent user experience. So why do millions of people love apps like Google Search or WhatsApp? Not because they're the most colorful, but because they're simple, intuitive, and effortless to use. Okay, some of the popular tools are like Figma, Canva, Framer, you have Lovable, Bolt, all that. Our next term is responsive design. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever opened the same website on your mobile, tablet, and laptop. Did you notice that everything automatically adjusts to fit the screen? That's called responsive design. Think of it like water. Okay, pour water into a glass, a bottle, or a bowl. It takes the shape of the container. A responsive website does the same. It automatically adapts to any screen size. Okay, suppose you've built an AI course, platform. A student opens it on a laptop, it looks perfect. Another student opens it on a mobile phone, but the buttons are too small, right? The text overlaps, and they have to zoom in. So most users will simply close the website. Now imagine the same website automatically adjusts buttons, readable text, proper spacing, easy navigation. That's responsive design. Okay, over 70% of users today browse websites on their phone. So if your app isn't mobile first or mobile friendly, you're likely losing a large number of potential, you know, customers. And that's why startups always test their products on mobile, tablet, laptop, desktop. So the popular tools are Tailwind CSS, Bootstrap, Figma, Chrome Developer, tools, Framer, all that. Yes, we have something called wireframe and prototype. Now, before building a house, do you start laying bricks immediately? Of course not, right? You create the blueprint first. Building software is exactly the same. A wireframe is a simple sketch, actually a sketch, right, of your app. It shows where things will be placed, buttons, menus, images and text. No colors, no fancy design. Right. So you should have a designer mindset. That's very important. You should be able to empathize with the user and just think, okay, where things will be. A prototype, on the other hand, is a clickable model that looks and behaves like the real app, even though it's not fully built. Okay. Suppose you're creating an AI-powered food delivery app, right? Instead of writing thousands of lines of code, you first sketch a home screen, restaurant list, cart, payment page. That's your wireframe. Then using a tool design, you connect these screens so people can actually click through them to the real app. And this is the prototype. Now imagine spending 3 months building an app only to discover users don't like the design. Instead, companies first create a prototype, show it to users, collect feedback, and then start coding, right? It saves time, money, and effort. Again, the popular tools are Figma. There's something by Adobe that's called Adobe XD. Then you have Framer, Canva, and of course, right, your pen and paper that comes first. Next one is we have something called the design system. Okay, imagine you're building a school. Yes. Would every classroom have a different door, different desk, and different uniform? Probably not, right? So everything follows the same style. So the school looks organized and professional. And that's exactly what design system does for, software. Design system is a shared collection of colors, fonts, buttons, icons, and components that every designer and developer uses, right? Suppose you're building the AI-Praxis platform, the homepage, login, course page, payment, right, dashboard. Instead of designing a new submit button for every page, you create it once and reuse it everywhere. And that's what I have done. The same applies to colors, fonts, cards, and menus. Now, this keeps the entire product consistent, right? Real world use case could be like think about Google, whether you open Gmail, Google Drive, Google Maps, the buttons, colors, and icons feel familiar. And that's because they're built using a common design system. It helps large teams build faster and ensures users enjoy a consistent experience, right? And the popular tools are Figma, Material Design, Ant Design, Tailwind UI, right? And then Shade CNN UI. The next term is unit testing. Imagine you're manufacturing cars. Would you wait until the entire car is assembled before checking if the brakes work? You will not, right? So you test each part individually. Software works the same way. A unit test checks whether one piece, small piece of your code is working correctly before it becomes part of the final application. Okay, let's say you're building something called an AI loan eligibility app. Now, one function calculates whether a person qualifies for a loan, right? Before launching the app, you automatically test that function with hundreds of users, right? And maybe different ages, different salaries, different credit scores. If all the tests pass, you're confident the calculation is correct. Okay, it's just one small feature, which is a very important one. Now, imagine Amazon's add to cart, very often we use, right? Button suddenly, stops working after a small update. Millions of customers would be affected. So to prevent this, companies run thousands of automated unit tests every time developers make changes. Now, these tests catch bugs before customers even see them. Our popular tools are Jest, okay, then Vitest, JUnit, PyTest, GitHub Actions. Then comes linting and formatting. Imagine you're submitting an assignment to your professor, and before submitting, you check, right? Are these spelling mistakes? Is the formatting, consistent? Are all the headings aligned? You don't change the meaning. You simply make the document, clean and professional. And that's exactly what these tools, do for coding. Okay. Linting finds actually mistakes and bad coding practices. Formatting automatically arranges your code so it's neat and consistent. For example, in Python, right, when you write, you don't simply write every line one below the other. If it's kind of a loop, you actually give some tab or, you know, give some spaces and then you continue. Similarly, when you use parentheses, right, or curly braces. Okay. Uh, you're working, let's say, with five developers on the same AI project, and one writes messy code, the other uses different spacing, a third forgets to close a bracket. Okay, instead of wasting time fixing these manually, a linter and formatter clean everything automatically before the code is shared. In fact, when you do coding on VS Code, it automatically does that, right? So companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, they have thousands of developers. Imagine if everyone followed their own coding style, it would become almost impossible to maintain the software. And that's why teams use linting and formatting tools to keep the code clean, readable, and consistent. So we have some tools like ESLint, Prettier, yes, then Biome, uh, then you have Black, right, by Python, and then Rough by Python. Yes, semantic versioning, often called as SEMVer. Just take the first three letters, right? So you might have noticed something like version 1.0, version 2.3.1, something like that. These numbers are not just random. They tell developers what has changed. Think of your smartphone. I mean, Apple releases, something and then you update it, right? So sometimes you receive a small update that actually fixes bugs. Other times you get major update with a completely new look and features. Software versions work the same way. Okay, so a simple rule is a version like 2.4.1 has got three parts. Let me explain to you. The first part, which is 2, is a major update. Okay, big changes, new experience, right? The second part, which is 4, is a minor update. It's a new feature added. And then you have the last one, right? The 1, for example, is the patch, the bug fixes and small improvements. Okay, so if you have your first version, which is AI Resume Builder, it would be named as version 1.0.0. We call it as 1.0.0, right? And later, then you add an AI cover letter generation, which means a new feature. So you'll say 1.1.0. Let's say you fix a PDF download bug. So which means PDF download was already there. Maybe it was not downloading, it was not downloading properly, and you fix that. Then the new version will be 1.1.1. Okay, and if it is a completely redesign, you call it as 2.0.0. So Anyone looking at the version number immediately understands the type of update. Okay, think of WhatsApp or Microsoft. When they release a major version, users expect significant changes, right? Small version updates usually mean big fixes and performance improvements. Okay, so version numbers will always help developers, businesses, customers stay on the same page. Okay, and the popular tools are like Git, GitHub, NPM, and then you have Docker or GitHub releases. Next we have is the feature flag. Okay, so feature flag is like light switch. Yes, so the wiring is already inside the wall, but the light turns on only when you flip the switch. Okay, software works the same way. Developers can build a new feature, keep it hidden, and turn it on only when they're ready. Suppose AI-Praxis launches a new feature called AI mock interviews. Let's assume that. Okay, instead of releasing it to all 10,000 students at once, one fine first enable, will be for, let's say, 100 students. If everything works well, you gradually enable it for everyone. If there's a problem, simply turn the feature off. No need to release a new version of the app. Okay, so you flag that feature. Have you ever noticed that your friend gets a new WhatsApp or Instagram feature before you do? That's because companies often roll out features gradually using feature flags. Okay, they test with a small group before launching to millions of users. And the popular tools are Launch Darkly, then Firebase Remote Config, Versal Flags, Split.io, Split.io, then ConfigCat. Yeah, this is common. A/B testing. Imagine you're opening a cafe and can't decide which poster will attract more customers. So you put poster A outside one branch and poster B outside another. After a week, you compare the results. Whichever brings in more customers wins. That's exactly what A/B testing is. Instead of guessing, you let real users decide. Okay. Suppose you're building, again, let me give you the example of AI resume builder. Right, you create two versions of the generate resume button. Version A is like blue button saying generate resume, and version B is like green button saying create my resume. Now, half your users see version A and the other half they see version B. If version B gets 20% more clicks, that's a better design, right? So companies like Amazon, Netflix, Google, YouTube all constantly run A/B tests, right? They test things like button colors, headlines, then you have homepage layouts, pricing pages, recommendation algorithms. Small improvements can lead to millions of additional users or revenue. Okay. Popular tools are Google Optimize, Optimizely, VWO, which is Visual Website Optimizer, then Firebase A/B testing, and then again Launch Darkly. Then comes monorepo, right? Mono means single, repo we already saw. Imagine you're building a house. Would you keep the kitchen in one city, the bedroom in other, and living room somewhere else? Of course not. Everything is organized under one roof, right? And that's exactly what a monorepo is. Instead of storing your website, mobile app, backend, and share code in separate repositories, you keep all of them in one repository. Okay. So let's say AI-Praxis has a student portal, a faculty dashboard, a mobile app, an AI backend. Instead of managing four different GitHub repositories, the development team stores everything in one monorepo. Okay, this makes it easier to share code, update fix features, and fix bugs, keep everything synchronized. Okay, let's say you're changing your company logo, right? If every application is in a different repository, you'll have to update each one separately. With a monorepo, you update it once and every application can use the new version. And that's why many large companies prefer this approach. GitHub, TurboRepo, NX, PNPM, Workspaces, Lemma. Now we have a term called SaaS, SaaS. That's how we pronounce. And the full form is software as a service. This is also one of the business models, but let's understand. Right. Think about Netflix. Right. Do you buy all the movies? No. You simply pay a monthly rental or some kind of subscription and watch them online, right? And that's SaaS. Now think of Microsoft 365, Canva, ChatGPT, Zoom, Google Space. You don't install a huge software package and own it forever. Instead, you pay a monthly or yearly subscription and use the software over the internet. Let's take the example of AI resume builder. Instead of charging 5,000 rupees once, you offer free plan, 3 resumes per month, maybe the pro plan, which will be like 499 per month. Premium could be like 999 per month. Okay, customers pay regularly while you continuously improve the product. That's the SaaS business model. Okay, so all these ChatGPT, Canva, Zoom, Notion, Salesforce, they are like SaaS businesses because customers get continuous updates and businesses earn predictable recurring revenue every month. Okay, and popular tools for building SaaS is Stripe or Razorpay payments, Superbase, you have Firebase, Versal, Clerk for authentication. Our next term is serverless. Yes, and the name is little misleading. Serverless doesn't mean that there are no servers. It simply means you don't have to manage them. Yeah. Think about electricity. Right. When you switch on a light, you don't own a power plant or maintain electrical equipment. You simply use the electricity when you need it and pay for what you use. Serverless works exactly the same way, right? Let's say you're building AI certificate generator. A student clicks generate certificate. Your code runs for 2 to 3 seconds, creates a certificate, sends it back, and stops. You don't need a server running all day. The cloud provider automatically handles everything, right? Imagine AI-Praxis has 20,000 students most of the day, right? No one is generating certificates. Why pay for users for a server, that's simply sitting idle? With serverless, you run, uh, you know, codes and and that's actually run only when the student clicks the button. Okay, you save money and automatically handle traffic spikes during busy times. Our popular tools are Versal Functions, AWS Lambda, then Cloud Functions, Superbase, Edge Functions, Firebase Functions. Then we'll have a term called scaling and load balancer. Let's say you own a restaurant. On a normal day, you have two chefs and every day runs smoothly. But during a festival, 500 customers arrive at once. Can two chefs handle everything? Right? No, right? So you hire one more chef, right, and divide the work. And that's called actually scaling. Now imagine all the customers stand in front of just one chef while the others are free. That would create long waiting times. So a manager directs each customer to the next available chef. That manager is like a load balancer. Okay. Suppose AI-Praxis launches a free AI workshop. Within an hour, 50,000 students, visit your website. If you have only one server, the website may become slow or even crash. So scaling adds more servers to handle the increased traffic. The load balancer then distributes users across those servers, so no single user gets overloaded. Think about, Book My Show. Right, when IPL tickets go live or IRCTC during Tatkal booking, millions of people visit at the same time. Behind the scenes, multiple servers and load balancers work together to keep the platform running smoothly. Our popular tools are AWS, Elastic Load Balancer, Google Cloud Load Balancer, then Nginx, and then Cloudflare, Azure Load Balancer. Now we have uptime and latency. These two metrics determine whether users trust your product. Let's understand them, right? With a simple example. Let's say you own a supermarket. If customers come and find the store closed, they will leave. Okay, that's an uptime problem. Now imagine the store is open, but customers have to wait 20 minutes just to pay. That's a latency problem. So what's the difference? Uptime means how often your app is available, and latency means how quickly your app responds. Okay, you need both actually. This is very important. Okay, think of online banking. If your bank's app is, let's say, unavailable when you need to transfer money, and it actually happens sometimes, you will lose confidence, right? Or imagine booking IPL tickets. If the website takes 30 seconds to load, many users will simply leave. And that's why companies constantly monitor time and latency. The popular tools are Google Cloud Monitoring, AWS CloudWatch, then Datadog, New Relic, then we have Pingdom. Yeah, product market fit, PMF. That's how we say. So here's a simple question. Have you ever seen a restaurant that's always full? People recommend it, return again and again, and even wait in line. Why? Because the restaurant serves exactly what customers want. That's called PMF. It's the point where your product solves a real problem so well that customers naturally keep using it and recommend it to others. Suppose you build an AI interview preparation app. At first, only a few students sign up. You improve it based on their feedback. Soon, students start telling their friends. Colleges begin recommending it. People are joining without you spending much on advertising. And that's a strong sign you've achieved product market fit. Real world use case. Think about ChatGPT. People didn't just use it once, they kept coming back, shared it with friends, and introduced it into their work and studies. That's the power of product market fit. So when you reach the stage, customers start pulling your product instead of you constantly pushing it. The popular tools are like Google Analytics, Mixpanel, Microsoft Clarity, then Hotjar, SurveyMonkey, all that. Then we have North Star metric. Let's say you're sailing in the ocean, right? How do sailors know they're moving in the right direction? For centuries, they used North Star as their guide, right? Businesses need a North Star too. A North Star metric is the one number that best tells you whether your product is creating value for customers. It's a metric that every team focuses on improving. Okay. Let's say you have built an AI learning platform. Should you measure number of website visitors, number of download, number of social media followers? These are useful. They don't tell you if students are actually learning. A better North Star metric could be like lessons completed per day. If that number keeps increasing, it means students are finding value in your platform. Okay, so different businesses have different North Star metrics. Let's take an example of YouTube. It's a watch time, Uber, completed rides, Spotify, listening hours, Airbnb, nights booked. Okay, so you look at all that, right? These are companies that uh, focus only on downloads. They focus on the value customers actually receive. And yes, Power BI, Looker Studio, Amplitude, all that could be the popular tools. Then there's something called freemium or it's pricing models, again, a business model. Uh, so let me give you an example. Have you ever used Canva, Spotify, ChatGPT, right? You can start any of them for free if you've not done yet. But if you want premium features, you need to actually upgrade the plan. Okay, that's called the freemium, the free version. And once you upgrade, that becomes free plus premium. Okay, that's the combination. Okay, so let's say you again AI resume builder example. Okay, you could offer a free plan, create 2 resumes every month. Pro plan could be like unlimited resumes, premium templates, AI interview preparation, and cover letter generation. The free plan attracts users. The premium plan generates revenue. Everyone wins, right? Real world use case could be like many of the world's successful tech companies. They use like Canva, Zoom, Zoom also gives you a 40-minute kind of free. Uh, right. Then Dropbox, Notion, ChatGPT, all these. So some of the popular tools are Stripe, Razorpay, Paddle, Lemon Squeezy, Revenue Cat. That's it. So we completed 68 terms. Amazing. So I will say congratulations. Right, you've completed all four parts of the Vibe Coders vocabulary. Think about this amazing journey. You started by learning the language of AI development. Then you learned how to collaborate with developers, deploy applications, manage infrastructure, design great products, and finally, how to think like a founder. Today, you don't just know technical terms, you understand how real startups are built. But here's something I would like again to remember, you to remember, that is, knowing these terms doesn't make you a founder. Again, start building. So after this, right, I challenge you to do three things: build one real AI application, launch it, even if it's not perfect, and talk to real users and improve it continuously. Remember, every successful startup could be like Airbnb, Uber, to Canva and ChatGPT, all started with a simple version. No unicorn was perfect on day one. The founders learned, improved, and kept shipping. And now it's your turn. So don't waste time. Don't wait for any perfect idea. Don't wait until you know everything. Just start building, start learning, and start shipping. Okay. So happy building to you, and see you in the next AI Praxis session. Okay. Till then, thank you very much. Keep learning.